Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from Poland.
Hello, everyone.
Bună ziua tuturor!
Hello, everybody.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Dziękuję Jakarta. Dzień dobry. Guten Tag.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Merħba u grazzi ta' din l-opportunità biex nirrappreżentaw il-pajjiż u l-iskola tagħna.
From our earliest years, we have been taught different values at our school that we soon identified with Euroscola. Solidarity, cooperation, commitment, and respect are not just simple words, but feelings that we have experienced through our participation in this project.
Nous sommes très pressés de passer une bonne journée ensemble, de profiter l'un de l'autre et d'échanger nos opinions et nos idées. Merci beaucoup.
Mes camarades et moi-même sommes ravis d'être au Parlement de notre Union européenne, car ce lieu, cet hémicycle, marque la volonté d'une union démocratique des différents pays, peuples et cultures qui forment notre magnifique continent, l'Europe.
Recently, the world around me has both shocked and fascinated me. Shocked because of how little comfort those less fortunate than ourselves have gotten, and on the other hand, how comfortable those endangering European values have become. Values that I share of union, freedom, openness, and democracy. May I quote Malcolm on this point, which I've just listened to on the train here. He said, "There's a lot of opinions, a lot of confusion, a lot of resentment. Some of us scared, some of us defensive, but most of us aren't even paying attention." On the contrary, I see so many faces here that probably share the same feeling than me. It does concern me. And I've seen a change coming from a couple of questions asked. I don't want to stand in a voters' cabinet not knowing what to tick. Much rather, I'd like to stand up and say what needs to be said in a society united in diversity. Thank you.
Bodza virágból, hullik a sárga virágpor. Fönt meg a felhők szállnak az égen, bodza fehéren, bodza fehéren. Bodza virágból, hullik a sárga virágpor. Fönt meg a felhők szállnak az égen, égen nyíló bodza fehéren.
My name is Rainer Wieland.
My name is Rainer Wieland, and I'm from Germany, and this is actually my 20th year as a member of the European Parliament, an MEP, and I'm responsible for Stuttgart and for the district of Heilbronn, about 10 federal constituencies, and I've been a Vice-President since 2009, Vice-President of the Parliament, and I'm always delighted to be here at Euroscola, and it is great to be here and not have to give speeches. I leave it up to you. Ask me questions about things which interest you. It's quite exciting for me, and I'll answer as far as I can.
I wanted to ask if you think that it is a suitable solution for Europe that central national government delegate some of their powers. I'm thinking about healthcare or defense to central European institutions. Or do you think it is better that they keep autonomy?
Naja, das ist ja genau die Frage.
Well, that is precisely the question that Mr. Juncker addressed in his white paper for Europe. He said there were 5 possible scenarios for the future. You can look them up. Now, one of the options is to stay as we are. Another option is to just have a single market, so do less, just have a single market. Another option is to have more of the community. Another option is multi-speed. People want to do more, let them go out there ahead together. And I think that the time has now come for Europeans to realise that there are choices to be made. And you as young people need to agree on what you want. I think it's very difficult in some areas which are heavily bound up with tradition to start doing new things together. Let me just give you an example to illustrate that. Anybody from Ireland here? Yes, somebody from Ireland already spoke. What about Malta? People from Malta. Yeah, up at the back there. Yeah. Yeah. I think about 5 or 4 years ago. No. In 2014, not 1994, in 2014, in Malta, a right to divorce was introduced for the first time. Up until that point, till 2014, divorce had not been possible. And a similar story in other countries. So you have some traditions which are very different from one country to the next. And so I think that in some regards we're only going to be able to progress very slowly. But there are other areas where we can move faster. But where we have traditions, and I think foreign and security policy belong to that as well, we'll have to move very slowly. And you've got the economic policies, because some countries worry about having community policies, and then you have some countries who'll be getting money, and other countries who'll be having to stump up the money, who are having to pay for everything. Because countries worry about that, again, progress is slow. Having said all of that, I do think we need to be doing more together, because we live in a world in which individual countries just can't solve all the problems on their own.
How can European Union reduce unemployment in young people? Thank you.
Ja, das habe ich ja vorhin gesagt.
Yes, well, as I just said, I believe that the European Union runs the risk of taking on too much, taking on issues which we can't agree with, and we are not responsible. Youth employment is the results of national policies. Youth unemployment is the crisis of a national state, and I am not against the fact that youth unemployment is proof that member states have failed. I would like to give you some examples. I could give you some examples, but in your country, the UK, for some decades people believed that you could have welfare and growth based exclusively on services, and that they thought that there could be an industry-free standard. But look at the UK. Services alone is not enough. You've got to have... it's true that services distributes wealth, yes, but you've got to have well-trained operatives, you've got to have well-trained people. And if people say, oh look, Germany, not many universities, or not many university graduates, not enough. But surely, not everybody has to have a university degree. There are more simple professions or trades. Now, someone who in Germany is a hairdresser and has a hairdresser's degree, but has a degree before, isn't that a waste of resources? Surely people should be oriented to things which they're interested in and which they can do well.
Now that the UK, one of Ireland's main trading partners, is leaving the EU, what does the EU plan to do to ensure that trade keeps moving and it doesn't decrease in Ireland? Thank you.
Also, wir verstehen, dass das Vereinigte Königreich
Well, we understand, of course, that Ireland doesn't want to have a new border. It's not in its interests, but if the United Kingdom leaves, then there will be a border. And we'll just have to wait and see how we handle that. But nor can we say United Kingdom is out of the EU, but then we'll close a blind eye to the border or lack thereof in Ireland. I mean, that's not on. Now Ireland
auch ein Platz sein,
will continue
Firmen, die sich
to be
überlegen, das Vereinigte Königreich zu verlassen
a place
und dann sagen,
which countries who are contemplating leaving the UK and don't want to go to Germany or Sweden, the Netherlands or wherever, they will turn to because they're leaving the UK, you know, you speak English in Ireland and the differences between the mentalities are probably less than they are, say, between an Irish and, I don't know, German mentality. And so I think that Ireland stands to benefit from Brexit in that respect, you know, from companies shifting over to Ireland. But only time will tell. I am delighted that Ireland is in the vanguard of those countries who are saying, oh, we're going to negotiate hard. Same in its dealings with Poland and a couple of other countries. So we have great understanding for the problems of Ireland, and we're not going to leave Ireland in the lurch. I mean, I have every sympathy for the Irish. I sit alongside Miss McGuinness in the plenary, Mary McGuinness, one of the vice-presidents from your country, sit next to her, and we talk a lot, and I know that we will have to deal with the problem of Ireland in future. Anyway, have a great day, you know, enjoy yourselves, trying things out, experimenting. And did I see you again in your own countries or elsewhere in Europe? Don't be as shy as you were today. You know, tell me, you know, that we were together in Strasbourg back in May if you do see me again. Thanks very much. Have a good day.
So I start with the first point. The EU countries can opt to achieve the same level of saving through other means, such as improving the efficiency of heating system, installing double glazed windows, or insulating roofs. Also, a second point, conscious use of product as making the eco-friendly products in order to promote responsible consumption. Number 3, recycling. Investing in initiatives to strongly encourage recycling, not only in governmental institutions, but also in private sector. Introducing policies facilitating environment-friendly consumption, and furthermore improving the infrastructures are investing in recycling centers, for example. Number 4, introducing a subject in school, introducing ecology as subject in school to correct import the sustainability and inform about the environmental issues. Start companies on different medias that tries to engage all citizens to be part of the sustainable society. Number 6, start taxing odor and polluting cars, and use the money gained to invest in green energy production and researches. Number 7, invest in all kind of researches of green energy and expand the facilitate the energy through transfer between green energy producers and clients. Increasing the number 8, increasing the use of local products by minimizing the taxes for the local producer.
We have discussed 4 main points. The first one is the gender inequality. Our group has decided and discussed that there is a gender inequality and that we have to fight to end with it. There have to be changes in the media. There should be a law that controls the advertisements, movies, shows, to make people realize that there are not men's stuff or women's stuff, just human stuff. And also to make people realize that women are not objects and that we are all the same. Also, make changes into education. educating children into equality and respect. The law should also control the gender inequality at the laboral world, like not making pregnancy a barrier to women to get their goals and encourage men to take care of the babies. Our second point is the restriction of some human rights, such as privacy, to safeguard our safety. Things have changed. There are new dangers, and renouncing to privacy could guarantee security in some situations, such as terrorism. Our third point is equal rights to immigrants. We have to make our society realize that there are no races. We are all the same. And to reach it, we have discussed that we have to change education, make people realize that there's no difference, that we have all the same rights, and also make some laws to assure integration and eradicate the hate to the different ethnic groups. Our last point is the freedom of speech. We all agreed that we have the right to express what we think, but we discussed that the education and also the law should take measures to make clear the difference between hate, violence, initiation, and opinions. Thank you so much.
So our first point would be to provide humanitarian aid, since there are a lot of people that can't survive in the developing countries, and a lot of them are dying. Second one of them, we were thinking about building schools and hospitals that will give them jobs, job opportunities, and help them to get a better education and a better healthcare system. And then we looked at some facts. For example, each European gives 8 cents a day for developing countries, and we thought that we could spend a little bit more and give 2 cents more, which would make a total of 10 cents a day for developing countries. We also thought about sending some experts to teach them how to develop by themselves, so they don't feel as they need so much help and they are useless. Improving the trading infrastructure that there already is to keep their economy going and money coming in. And we think that is one of our principles to help developing countries, and we feel like we need to reach out to them to help them to have a better lifestyle. Thank you.
Our political party came to the conclusion that the most important targets for our future as European citizens are our diplomacy, our education, and our youth. We believe that we should improve our diplomacy policies inside and outside the Union in order to gain the needed worldwide influence. Improving diplomatic relationship inside the Union can be achieved with one simple step: opening the Schengen for every EU member country. And also we believe that more investments from non-EU countries should be made, because this will boost our overall worldwide influence, and then we can more or less share the European values that should always be our main goal. And we also believe that there should be more policies that encourage information about the European Union coming from governments on a national level. And we believe that this can be achieved with the creation of European public system and European network that will provide constant information about the EU and its policies. And also programs like Euroscola and Erasmus+ should be extended, that each program will expand union-wise and national-wise, and more people will be interacting in those programs. And also our main conclusion is that there should be a youth council created, that every teenager from every EU member country will participate, and they will be part of the European Parliament, and they will be able to propose ideas directly to the MEPs working in the Parliament, so they can be voted and they can be accepted or declined. So this is all.
We want more checkpoints on the European borders. The people that work on these checkpoints should be financed by the European Union. Second point, we want a quota per country. Every country should take in a number of refugees fitted to their needs and limits. Third point. We would like to organize reward funding by the European Union for the countries that accept the quota. Fourth point. We want mandatory language classes for the migrants. And our last point, if migrants come to our country with a degree that isn't recognized in the welcoming country, they should have the option to take a test and then get an equivalent diploma. Thank you.
So I understand that you want to make these refugees feel welcomed, but there's still a threat. People see them as a threat. They are scared. And what are you going to do about that? Like, they should be integrated, but how the other people are going to make them feel welcome?
For better integration, we have the language classes and also the unification of the diplomas should help them to integrate, because if they can speak the language of the country and if they can work in the country, they can work together with people living in the country, and that could help the integration.
The first point we've discussed in the committee is that it would be an advantage to have a common title for all the European Union for be able to work or be allowed to work. For example, like something like a European insurance number or international insurance number for work in all the European Union, no matter what's your nationality or your country of origin. The second point we've discussed was that companies should have a number of vacancies for people from other countries, as well as the European Union should impose a percentage for the a minimum young people working in each company. So young people would be more employed with these measures that the European Union would take. The third point is that a lot of people is working as much as paid professionals without being paid. That's the case of work experiences, internships, and practices. So we arrived to the conclusion that these work experiences should be paid. Maybe not much as a paid professional, but they should be paid. The fourth point was combine education and work in settlements between the education institutions and the companies. So students would have enough time to study and have a part-time job and get paid, of course, they could have money for the further education.